Hey guys, coldbrew here. Welcome back to another video. We're gonna go over the Forge today. I wanted to cover this on its own as a separate video. I've never done this before actually, so it's a unique video for the channel. We're gonna go over the Forge, but specifically on how to optimally use your charms for just forging items through the Forge. If you are a veteran player, a player who has been playing this game for years and years, this is basically a no-brainer because you must have a ton of charms like I do. If you're somebody though who's newer to the game, even a couple years of playing the game, then you might be at a disadvantage in terms of which charms you have more of. Let's say attack charms. Look at how many attack charms I've got almost 1,000 of them. And then I also have 1,000 rank rarity charms, mythical charms. Now with the Cursed City, this becomes relatively easy, and then lots of type charms here available. So we're gonna go over on how to optimally use them, because with this quick crafting feature, you might go out of hand and just use up all your charms by mistake, honestly, because here it just defaults to the maximum amount that you can craft. So sometimes you might go all out and use all your charms on a specific piece of gear that you shouldn't be forging. So before we get to that, guys, I did farm the dungeon, so I wanted to do this on live for a video. Look at this. I've got one summon. Last time I did this, I actually got the headline champion. So who knows? I got one chance, 6% for a Lego, right? No, we get a Chonoro. Okay, let's go back into the Forge. Right. First things first, guys, when you're forging, don't go swift parry, don't go deflection. These are way more expensive. Look at this, 50 of the Magisteel that you get from the arenas. If you are somebody who's farming the arenas, and you don't really have an issue with this, but I don't really farm the arenas anymore. I just do my bare minimum for the daily quests and stuff. So this runs out quickly. So that's also one reason why I have so many charms. I just don't forge anymore, and I don't buy the forge passes. Although they're good value, I don't spend on the game anymore. It's my personal choice. So I just have lots of charms available. I use them very sparingly. So if we start out with the charms, the rank, rarity, and mythical charms all go together in my view. If you're gonna use them, you're gonna use all three, okay? If you don't have any mythical charms yet, it's no problem. You can still use rank and rarity, but always rank and rarity. Use those two together, at least minimum. And then once you start farming for mythical charms, and once you get to that point, you should, in my opinion, you should be going triple charms here whenever you're forging, because you want to get that mythical. It's an obvious choice here because you get the maximum benefit of forging, and especially if it's a forge pass set, or if it's a set such as the lethal set, which is much stronger than the savage set, then you want to optimize your chances of getting what you want. Okay, have that in mind. Also, the instinct set is not bad, but that's for players who are just starting out, don't have many savage gears available. So when you are using these three, it's basically for your best gear that you're looking for. So the forge passes, the lethal gear, and then you're going, depending on which forge pass you are oftenly buying, let's say the Slayer set, or maybe the bolster set, you can go those two. I wouldn't really go righteous set. This is more for the whales who want to have really high resists. Defiant set is okay, but I wouldn't use my mythical charms on this one. It does have utility, but you don't need it to actually get the utility. You don't need a mythical Defiant set to get the utility out of it. You just become tankier. It's mostly used for dungeons. And then instinct set is nice, as I said. Then we go to the other sets, which are from the Doom Tower. And out of all these, if I'm going to be honest, it's only the Litha set that is worth the mythical charms. If you are forging any of the others, it's basically because you're just looking for some good off pieces, or maybe some Frostbite that is useful for Cursed City. Bloodthirst is also okay once you start out the game. Guardian set had its uses, but really falls off now as a 4-piece set. And then the Fatal really doesn't have any place in the game. Untouchable is solid, but I mean, the 4-piece set, you can definitely use a Stone Skin for at least the 1-turn immunity that you get there. Affinity Breaker had some uses for Phantom Shogun, but falls off, and it's very random to get one good set of gear. So again, the mythical charms is, as I said, with Perception, I find that the longer you're playing, the more perception gears you have. You're farming the farming the faction war, so you're getting your resources from there, so you're good. Resilience, it's a dead set to me. I don't use it at all. It's basically how I get silver. If I want to get silver, I use this resilience forge. Okay, that's it. So next up on the list is gonna be the type charm. So weapon, helmet, shield, gauntlets, which is gloves, chest plate, and boots. When do you use this, and how often should you be using them? In my opinion, unless you're looking to complete a set, you have 3 out of 4, and you say, I need a helmet, I need a shield, I need a weapon for this specific set, you use these charms. Okay, you use these charms. If not, you'd rather go without any charm at all. Let's say you don't have any gloves, you don't have any chest plates, and you don't have any boots. Just don't pick those charms at all, okay, from the top side, because it's gonna be random and you'll probably get what you're looking for eventually. It's just that you only pick these 3 if you're trying to complete a set and you're very specific on which slot you want to fill with that set. Then we go gauntlets, chest plate, and boots. These can be very specific, targeted charms that you use together with specific subset charms to boost your chances of actually getting the type of gear that you want. For example, and I'll give you one example, is let's say you want to get some boots with speed on the primary. You're not gonna go and use a speed charm there, guys, because this gives you the speed substat. So basically, what are you doing? Are you trying to get an attack percent boot with speed substat? Then okay, but attack percent boots, usually you're looking for crit rate. So you want to have in mind what kind of combo of stats you're looking for. So don't try to do like a chest plate charm here and say, oh, I need attack percent on my primary, and then go attack charm on it. Right? You're depleting, you're reducing your chances of getting those stats that you want. So with that in mind, because these affect the substats, with that in mind, when you are placing these charms, it's basically you're targeting the best of the best in terms of the gloves. Looking, let's say, for your farmer or attacker, for your gloves, you're looking for crit rate or crit damage on the main stat. Crit damage for more end game stuff, okay? Crit rate is very, very early game type of filling in the slots to get 100%. So you're looking for crit damage. You're not gonna go and do crit damage charm, okay? This is obvious, and that's why I have more crit damage charms, way less crit rate charms. These are my most used together with my speed charms for my forging. Everything else is very situational and whether you're using on support gear. So with that in mind, that's how you go about slowly building up your charm collection. You want to have about 100 of each always, especially if you're somebody who's still in the process of finishing the missions for Romantu. I don't think there's any missions for Marius, but Romantu, I'm 100% sure there's missions where you need specific charms to use. So with that, just keep about 100 of those. Keep an eye on the missions if you have them still in your eyes, as a goal for the account. Just keep about 100 of the charms and you should be okay. If you want to be extra safe, keep 200, but I mean, that's a bit too much. You'll slowly be collecting these through events and everything that the game provides, plus the daily login, I think, gives you some of the charms, and I think some rank charms and rarity charms as well. So with the substat charms, what do you do with the substat charms? How you go about using the substat charms? As I explained before, let's say I'm forging here and I'm trying to get some good gloves, okay? Let me not use this on a swift parry. Let's go resilience. Actually, no. Let's go lethal. Let's do 10 lethals. So for this one, lethal gear. It's a better savage gear, better savage set. How do I go about farming for forging for this specific set? In my personal opinion, if you're somebody who has 0 of this set, don't use any charms. You're just gonna want to get some specific pieces here. Don't use any charms, type charms. I'll probably go weapon, maybe. gloves maybe, or chest plate. But again, the chances that you get an attack percent chest plate are kind of low. And then as it is with this set, because you're going to go chest plate here, you don't want to go attack percent. You want to go crit rate. If you're somebody who's more end game, okay, and you're comfortable with the crit rate that you have, or the crit rate that you can reach 100% crit rate, or you're gonna use this set on a specific champion that has a way to boost his own crit rate, so you don't need 100%, you might need 70, you might need 85, whatever the amount is, you can go crit damage charm or attack percent charm, whichever one you like. If you're going for bomber champion gear, you don't need crit damage, you want attack percent. You want attack percent on the gloves primary, and then attack percent on the other pieces substats. So you want to be using these charms specifically based on the attacker that you have in mind building up. All right, so you're building your attacker with that in mind. When you are going the remaining charms, resistance, accuracy, HP percent, and defense, okay, these are for supports. Supports use these specific sets: bolster, defiant, righteous, fortitude, guardian, frostbite, untouchable, yeah, perception for sure, and then the other three, very random that you're gonna use it. But perception is like the king of the forge for so long, but now with the forge pass sets, it's been kind of replaced. Bolster set is very nice, has a lot of uses, even though some champions can take advantage if you've got a shield. It's very, very unique when that happens. If it's a Narcissus, for example, where he double hits you if you got the shields. The bolster set is still pretty strong. It gives you a nice shield to help you survive, and especially for dungeons, this might be the one that helps you clear the next level of the dungeon. So the bolster set. So you're looking for the substats on this set that will help you boost your goals. And if you're somebody who is, again, struggling to get those HP percent gloves on the primary, do not use HP charms with the glove charm, okay? As I explained, this is going to go on the substat. You're going to get a flat stat on the gloves. You're going to have a bad time. This is also a reason why I don't use so many of these charms, because I don't want to risk my chances of just getting tons of flat stat on the top. If I'm really, really looking for more gloves, for example, with a crit damage on the primary, so I'm fishing for these, I'm just fishing, I'll do it. Okay, I'll do the gloves, and then I'll do, let's say, crit rate on the substat charm. But it is what it is. If I'm going for a support, I don't really care, especially with these, with the type charms. I don't really care for supports. What I do care is that they have lots of HP or defense percent. I mix those two. And if I'm going for very high resist, I go resistance charms. But this is not usually the case, because with resist, the way I build my champions, I don't use the forge items. I use, let's say, stone skin gear with resist. So it's very hard for me to use the resist charms when you can't, because it's a stone skin set, so you can't forge it. So yeah, that's how it goes. It's very simple once you realize on how this system works. Very simple, very nice addition to the game when the forge was added. Top of the line way of getting gear to your account once you start playing those free-to-play seasons that I covered back in the day. You know, that's what we were doing. All right, quick crafting here. You are trying to use your charms. It's basically the same idea with the charms here that you're using. With quick crafting, you just want to be selecting filters. And if you're somebody who is like me, who's very selective on what you're keeping, I'm basically keeping only legendary and mythic gear for everything. I could be doing this for lethal gear, could be doing this also with epics, but I don't want any 5-star gear or 3-star. Those are basically forging those only so I can get some more silver on the account. So this was a quick dive into the forge, guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope you found it helpful. If you got your own tips you want to give to the other players who might be watching this video, leave them down below in the comments. Thank you all so much. I'll see you in the next one. See you guys.